With roughly 35,000 people, the Yanomami are the most populous and isolated group in South America. They are, nonetheless, one of the Amazonian peoples on the verge of extinction. As a result of a number of past and present events, the Yanomami ethnic group is one of those at risk of extinction due to tropical diseases, such as malaria and poor living conditions. Malnutrition, fishing, livestock, and illegal mining are all taking place in their natural environment. According to estimates from the Brazilian government, 570 Yanomami youngsters have perished in the last 4 years. These issues also impact certain isolated Amazon tribes that we have highlighted on the channel, despite the fact that they have a far lower number than the Yanomami. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is about the devastation unleashed to discover the tragic truth behind the Amazon's largest tribe extinction. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Number 1. The Yanomami are dispersed throughout around 250 isolated settlements, apart from one another and the rest of the world. They are located on the border between Venezuela and Brazil in the Amazon rainforest, with regards to 2. The Amazon is the world's biggest tropical rainforest, covering 7 million square miles. Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana, Peru, Suriname, and Venezuela are the countries involved. The 9th is French Guinea, which is, as the name implies, a French dependency. On November 11, 2011, the Amazon was named one of the world's 7 natural wonders. Only the Iguazu Falls, located between Argentina and Brazil, are recognized in Latin America. Number 2. The Yanomami have been victims of human avarice, as well as their environmental conditions. Illegal mining is one of the issues they have experienced as an ethnic community. Because their region is abundant in natural resources, many valuable raw materials required by modern society can be found here. One of these is gold, which has drawn adventurers of various kinds for decades to extract and exchange it. When confronted with resistance from the indigenous peoples of the New World, most miners resorted to guns and devastated entire settlements and ecosystems. Illegal mining is linked to an increased risk of infectious diseases and mercury poisoning in water, as well as the possibility of encountering armed miners. Number 3. Plagues and illnesses have also been recurring issues. Because they are so remote from huge populations and have such a different culture, their health risks are minimal. However, their limited contact with other civilizations and people outside of their respective communities has allowed diseases to increase that they were unprepared for. Their native environment is so pristine that nothing in it can protect them against contamination from other latitudes. Thousands of Yanomami have died as a result of diseases and epidemics. Number 4. In reaction to what some describe as a genocide targeting this Amazonian group, the Brazilian government has declared an emergency. In recent years, hundreds of Yanomami children have perished as a result of mercury pollution in the water, starvation, malaria, acute diarrhea, and pneumonia. Illegal gold mining in this natural reserve has been the primary cause of this disaster. Number 5. Brazilian garimpeiros, or tiny independent miners, began in the Yanomami area in the 1970s. This tribe has severe disagreements with them because they consider nature holy and resist the encroachment of other cultures. Today, this is regarded as one of the darkest moments in the Yanomami community's history. As a result of these clashes, many indigenous people were killed and the ecosystem was harmed. Number 6. Various indigenous villages have been damaged by Venezuela's economic crisis, which has been ongoing for several years. Their subsistence-based economic activity has not been enough to maintain their families, and malnutrition cases have been documented on Venezuelan land. Similarly, indigenous peoples have contributed to the migratory phenomena that the Caribbean country is suffering as a result of the crisis. Number 7. Their seclusion is so severe that there is no reciprocal contact, even among Yanomami communities. That is, each community lives independently of the others. They are an ethnic group that cannot be termed homogeneous or cohesive, but rather clans that are autonomously organized politically, economically, and socially. Number 8. The Yanomami have a long history of bloodshed among themselves. In reality, the early investigations on them indicate a number of bouts of aggressiveness and internal strife. War, in their opinion, carries the moral imperative to pursue vengeance. Some of the likely causes include specific historical events they have experienced, and the occurrence of food scarcity. When we add in the virtually continual external dangers, we have an actual warrior society. Number 9. The The Yanomami violence was alluded to in Rogério Deodato's controversial 1980 film Cannibal Holocaust. The image is somewhat overwhelming, yet the locals in the film practiced endocannibalism. Number 10. Their human settlements in Brazil are located between the states of Amazonas and Roraima, two of the 26 states that comprise this country, along with the federal district. Both political administrative divisions are in the northern area of Brazil. The total area of both territorial areas is around 695,000 square miles. But when we consider the land they occupy, it is just 3,861 square miles. Manaus is the capital of the Brazilian state of Amazonas. It is the most populated urban agglomeration in the Amazon region, with about 2 million inhabitants. Roraima's capital, meanwhile, is known as Boa Vista. It has a population of about 300,000 people and is the only capital of a Brazilian federal entity located north of the equator. Number 11. On the Venezuelan side of the border, Yanomami communities are located in the indigenous state of Amazonas, one of the 23 federal entities that comprise Venezuela, along with the capital district. The official languages of this geographical unit are Spanish and Amerindian. Because it is one of the Venezuelan regions with the highest concentration of indigenous people, the Yanomami population accounts for over a fifth of the total indigenous population in this territory of nearly 77,220 square kilometers. Given that they occupy the Alto Orinoco Caciquiare Biosphere Reserve, they only have around 32,818 square miles to themselves. Puerto Ayacucho is the capital of Venezuela's Amazonas. With over 100,000 residents, it houses over 60% of the entity's population, leaving the rest of the state to minor communities, tribes, and jungles. Number 12. The Yanomami occupy one of the world's most significant indigenous forest foldings, with possessions in both Venezuela and Brazil. In addition to the Yanomami, the union of these three governmental entities shelters dozens of other indigenous ethnic groups. We are making it an essential ethnic and cultural reserve for humanity. Number 13. Charpanos is home to the Yanomami, which comprise their village. It is made out of a circular building with an open space in the center for relaxation. Like the one you're looking at, their way of life is communal, and they create divisions for families within the building. Number 14. The term Yanomami derives from the Italian Salesian missions, which were in charge of the Catholic missions in the Yanomami region. It is also supposed to be derived from the word Yanomami Thiep, which means humans. This term differs from Yoro, which refers to hunting animals, Nape, which denotes enemy or alien, and Ye, which refers to invisible or nameless beings. Have you ever heard of this tribe? Number 15. The Yanomami make their living by hunting, collecting, and fishing. The meat gained through hunting is the least essential component of their diet. In fact, this source provides less than 1/10 of their nourishment. However, hunting is seen as a prestigious pastime among the tribe, and its members relish the occasions when they eat meat. It should also be noted that they create vast gardens at the expense of losing their natural surroundings. Number 16. The Yanomami, Ararami, and Haneomau engage in two sorts of hunting. The former is more common since it meets their daily meat needs. It is often conducted in the village's surroundings and takes minimal time. The latter is a particular ritual hunt. They were accompanied by dances performed by men while camping in a location rarely visited by the tribe. Number 17. The Yanomami have acquired botanical knowledge, allowing them to cultivate crops, construct dwellings, manufacture natural remedies, and create other valuable objects for their daily life. Despite the fact that the Amazonian soil is not recognized for its fertility, they manage to make the most of it. Their primary agricultural products are yams, plantains, and taro. Number 18. Because the Amazonian soil could be more fruitful, people relocated their crops after a few years to take advantage of the little nutrients available in these new soils. Because of this, they have become nomadic people, frequently traveling inside the Amazon rainforest and establishing temporary communities. Number 19. They're not required to trade or maintain relations with other indigenous peoples in the area because of their subsistence agriculture operations and awareness of their natural surroundings. They are self-sufficient in this sense and do not require touch with the outside world. As a result, they are isolated not just from foreign civilizations but also from other native tribes. Number 20. Larvae are another common food source for the Yanomami. They developed ways to boost larval reproduction, make them available for consumption as well. Number 21. This ethnic group's traditional diet is notably low in salt. As a result, their blood pressure is among the lowest of any demographic group in the world, piquing the scientific community's interest in researching the possible link between low sodium intake and hypertension. Number 22. The Yanomami have no common language. In truth, there are 4 Yanomamian languages: Nainam, Weka, Sanuma, and Yanomamo. Of course, each has its own dialect, but if indigenous people from different villages were to gather and chat, they would most likely not understand each other. Another intriguing aspect of their language is that its roots are unknown, and the 4 languages are unrelated to any other native languages. Number 23. Elders are the most regarded and followed members of their internal organization and hierarchy due to their knowledge and experience. They frequently serve as shamans, counselors, or political leaders in their villages. The Takuzawa is the community's leader or chief. They do not meddle with the problems of other Yanomami villages, but instead concentrate solely on their own. They earn this position by displaying their capacity to handle conflicts among community members as well as with the outside world. To be as assertive as possible, they'd frequently rely on the backing of older males. Number 24. The Yanomami dress is appropriate for their environment. They dress lightly since they are adapted to a tropical and jungle climate. In truth, their clothes do not conceal much of their bodies and serve more as an ornamental and artistic purpose. Men wear guayuco, a form of native loincloth, as well as branches and ropes wrapped around various portions of their bodies. Women, on the other hand, do not wear much clothing. They frequently paint their bodies and wear necklaces, jewelry, and feathers on their heads. Feathers are connected with the male gender, while flowers are associated with the female. Number 25. Yanomami music is in little supply. It is primitive and ancestral, based on pentatonic and tritonic scales. The shaman's sacred maraca and the buzzing stick are employed as instruments. Animals can be imitated when singing, and both solo and communal singing are permitted. Number 26. The height of the Yanomami is also used to identify them. They are one of the ethnic groups in the Americas with the most diminutive average height, standing at only 4 feet and 11 inches. Number 27. In the early 20th century, the German ethnologist Theodor Koch-Grunberg was one of the first to devote himself to the study of this Latin American ethnic group. Later in the mid-century, more expeditions were conducted on Brazilian soil. Remember that this is a remote ethnic community that is difficult to reach, making study difficult and contributing to the scarcity of information about them. Number 28. Tasks are separated according to gender, like with most indigenous American peoples. Men are in charge of hunting, clearing the jungle for agriculture, and other physically tricky tasks for the tribe. At the same time, women tend to the crops, gather in the forest, and manufacture handicrafts. During tribal fishing outings, both men and women can fish using a poison called curare or fish. They'd add the egalitarian behaviors in this way. Number 29. Women give birth in the woods or close to the settlement at night. During their initial years of life, children remain close to their mothers. In fact, kids sleep with their moms until they are 5 years old, at which point they are given their hammock. Mothers are in charge of raising and caring for their children. All children are permitted to play with and learn from their peers in the community. Number 30. Another reason contributing to their tiny number and fear of extinction is infanticide, which occurs when a baby is born malformed, twins or triplets are born, or births are early. This is one of their traditions that may endanger their people's survival. Number 31. You might be shocked by how they handle personal connections among their members. Polyandry and polygamy are publicly accepted in certain Yanomami villages. The former implies that a woman can marry multiple men at the same time. This is a less prevalent practice than polygamy in the globe, although it is popular among the Yanomami. The latter implies that a man can marry multiple women at the same time. Number 32. There is no official marriage process. It is formalized by moving the hammock from where it was to where it should be, next to the couple. Depending on where you want to live, this can be done by either a man or a woman. Number 33. Despite the difficulties, Yanomami mythology is vibrant and well-maintained. Over the ages, some indigenous people in the area have converted to other religions, particularly Christianity. The Yanomami's ancestral beliefs detail the formation of the sky and the Tipu, as well as the deeds of Makunima, one of their principal deities. Number 34. According to their beliefs, the terrestrial and spiritual world is made up of 4 overlapping and diverse cosmic layers. The Yanomami are a type of intermediate layer. The other intermediate stratum is the sky. It is a period of development for them. The lower layer is made up of water, representing the realm of dampness and decay. The higher layer is the world connected to the sky, where human souls and the Yanomami means of survival cohabit. Number 35. They consume the Varola plant, which is endemic to the South American rainforest, to commemorate their mystical and traditional rites, and with evident psychedelic qualities. Shamans utilize it for healing rituals, conversing with their ancestors, and divining their destiny. It is administered into the nostrils in powder form by blowing it with a hollow stick and must be ingested in tiny amounts due to its effects. This practice does not involve women. It is regarded as a manly task. Number 36. One of the Yanomami practices that will most likely surprise you is the habit of cremating their deceased. This is not the most notable aspect, as it occurs in many cultures, especially those in the Western Hemisphere. What's strange is that they then brew a drink out of the ashes, which reportedly distributes the deceased's spirit and good energy to people who drink it. In general, the procedure is as follows. The body is wrapped in leaves and thrown into the woods. The bones are gathered and burnt after about 40 days. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.